Hey everybody, welcome back to another Blast from the Past review, G.I.Joe Classified Edition. And as you can see today, we're taking a look at Baroness with the Cobra COIL from Cobra Island, the Target exclusive. I already dealt with the logistical issues that Target had with this line, so we're not going to get into that again. If you want to hear my take on that, go back and watch the Beachhead video. I'm pretty sure that's where I dealt with it. I missed out on this figure the first time around because I didn't start collecting until December 2021. So a fellow Hiss Tanker from the Hiss Tank forum was good enough to get me a copy of this figure as well as Beachhead and only charge me what he paid plus shipping, so I'm happy for that. Of course, if I knew then that we would be getting a retro Baroness from Walmart in the future, I probably wouldn't have gotten this figure because I don't really care that much for the COIL. The Baroness figure I like, but the COIL just, I don't really like the design. It's not based on anything that has existed in G.I.Joe prior to Classified, so I've got no nostalgia for it. If they had put her with a ferret instead of the COIL, that would have been awesome. And of course, we're getting a ferret. This ferret has been name dropped. It's in the pipeline for Classified. We don't know when it's going to come out yet, or we haven't even seen any digital renders of it yet, but it is coming. So that's cool. But yeah, they could have gotten us a ferret years earlier if they had put it with this set instead of the COIL. So let's take a look at the box here. As you can see, this is a much larger box than anything we've seen previously. This set was the first vehicle set in the line. As you can see, the box is easily twice the size of the normal figures boxes. And you can see that Cobra Island Terradrome Firebat picture in the back there. Got the Cobra Island logo there. Baroness with Cobra COIL. Now, as you can see, it's spelled C.O.I.L. It's an acronym. However, they haven't ever, there's nowhere on the box or anywhere else that explains exactly what it stands for. So they made it an acronym, but then it didn't tell us what it means, which is kind of weird. Anyway, looking at the box some more, you got some artwork of Baroness on the COIL here. Picture of her with one of the accessories that we'll get to. And then here's this artwork on the side, as well as the file card. This is number 13 in the line. And then you can see here on the back, we got an even bigger picture of Cobra Island, which has 3 different locations focused in on instead of 2 like the normal boxes. This one, I believe we've already gotten on Beachhead's box, but these 2 I think are new. I'm not sure exactly what those are. That looks like it might be a power plant of some sort, maybe using the volcano to create some kind of a geothermal plant to provide power for the island. And then down there, I'm not exactly sure what that is. Maybe that's the power station. Oh no, that looks like a Terradrome there, doesn't it? The circular kind of. It looks a little small to be a Terradrome though. I don't know. In any case, a huge picture of Cobra Island. So if you were having trouble seeing anything specific about Cobra Island on the smaller boxes, now you got this giant shot here. It would be really cool to see someone make this a diorama. I mean, obviously in 6-inch scale, that would be ridiculously large. But just, make a miniature little model of that. And hell, if Hasbro made a little miniature model of this, I might even consider buying it, depending on how much it was. On the bottom of the box, we got legalese right there. Top, G.I. Joe, Cobra emblem, number 13. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. Let's get this giant thing out of the way. Alright, first take a look at the coil. It's pretty standard plastic motorcycle toy. The wheels actually do move. And it also has a kickstand that goes up and down, so you can set it, keep it from falling over. Nothing else is movable on this. Just the steering wheel, the front wheel with the handlebars. Now, there are 2 handlebars. I left one in the box because in the box, I don't have this displayed. I put it away because, like I said, I don't really care for it. And it takes up a lot of space. So I put mine away. And when it's in the box, this handlebar is off. So it can fit in there without crushing the handlebar. And it's a kind of a pain in the ass to get these in and out. So I took it out to put it back in the box. I just chose not to put it back on for this review, just so I wouldn't have to go through that frustration. The only other thing that this comes with, oh yeah, it also has foot pegs here, so Baroness can sit on it riding up, and it's got pegs in the back so she can sit on it leaning forward. Kind of cool. There's not really enough room to put 2 figures on here. You might be able to fudge it a little bit, but it won't. I don't think it'll look that good. I haven't actually tried myself, but the seat's kind of small. But anyway, it also comes with these 2 guns. Just those futuristic railgun looking things that were all over the place in the line the first few waves until they switched over to more realistic style. Now these plug into the coil. Right there. Right there. To provide the coil's only weaponry. And as you can see, it's got a handlebar, or it's got a handle, not a handlebar, it's got a handle and a trigger. So Baroness can actually hold these guns as well. And if she wants, you can also peg it into her back with the same peg that goes onto the cycle. But I don't use these guns for her because they look weird. This looks like something that you would find in Halo, not G.I. Joe. So there's really not much more to say about the bike. It's got good paint apps, I guess, you know, basic red and black, Cobra color, some silver, and then the gauges are painted, so that's nice. But the utility of it is pretty low, and like I said, the nostalgia factor is none because this didn't exist before. Now they did have a set later with Breaker, and he came with the Ram cycle, which was much better because that was a vehicle. That was one of the first vehicles they released in the line back in the 80s. So there was definitely a nostalgia factor for the Ram, not so much for this thing. And I don't know. It looks out of place, to be honest. I mean, I guess if you think it was created by Destro's company Mars, then yeah, it probably makes sense. This definitely looks like a Mars style bike. Yeah, let's put this to the side now and take a look at Baroness. Now this is probably one of the most famous female figures, action figures of all time. I mean, she's up there with Scarlet from this line, as well as, say, Tila and Evelyn from Masters of the Universe. And that's pretty much it. I mean, Transformers didn't really have any female figures until the movie, when they released RC, and I don't think she was ever that popular. And Mask had a few, but once again, they were never as popular. So yeah, and in the 80s, there weren't a lot of female, like, action figures for boys, you know? It's mostly dolls for girls, you know? Like She-Ra and Barbie and stuff like that, but G.I. Joe and He-Man were the only ones that had females of note in toy lines that were marketed towards boys. And Scarlet and Tila were the main heroic females, and Baroness and Evelyn were the main evil females. So Baroness definitely has history. And hell, I would argue that she's even better than Evelyn. But that's because I like G.I. Joe more than Masters of the Universe. Some people would probably think Evelyn's better, but, you know, I've always been a fan of Baroness. As a boy growing up, female action figures weren't really something I played with a lot. But Baroness did get a lot of use because she just looked really cool. And her classified look is similar to her original A Real American Hero O-ring look. But they did add more texture to the costume, as well as color it gray in places that it wasn't gray in the original figure. They added more red to it. I think the original figure only had the Cobra logo on the chest. She didn't have it on the belt or on the forearms. And the boots just look really good. I like the gold buckle on the side there. Now this figure, since it came with a vehicle, it's a little bit more expensive, but they did put some of that into the paint, as you can see. There's not a lot to it, but then again, Baroness isn't a colorful character, so you wouldn't expect there to be. But they definitely made use of as much paint as possible, like the ring, the gold buckle on the ring on her boot there, which is good. I kind of wish they had used this shiny black plastic more, like on this part here, maybe on her waist piece, and all the way leading up to the chest armor, and then on the shoulders as well, just to give it more of a shine, you know. But it still looks good. The way this looks, when we get to the twins, Tomax and Xamot, you're going to see what a difference this type of finish makes, because they don't have it, and they should in certain parts. I'll definitely point those out when we get to that review. So Baroness comes with a couple of overlays. She's got this knife holster on her thigh here, and then she has this waist overlay for her guns. The forearm guards are molded in. As you can see, that's all molded plastic. It's not loose. And her eyeglasses, future Baronesses come with removable glasses, but these are glued on. You can't take them off. And also, as you can see, there's a little, even paint apps on the glasses. They added gold to the tips. And it's kind of cool because if you look real closely, you can kind of see how the glasses are magnifying her eyes behind them. So that's a little extra added detail. It looks cool. And she's got that nice red lipstick, slightly open mouth. So you can see the white teeth underneath, as well as the red lipstick on the lips there. And she's got long hair down to her waist, just about. It's just one plastic piece. It's really soft, rubbery plastic. It gets out of the way pretty easily. Although you're not going to be able to have her looking up. too much unless you really hold it. If you hold it back, you can get her looking up about that far. But if you let go, the hair pushes her back forward again. And while we're doing the articulation there, she can look down about that far. She's got a little bit of tilt. She can do exorcist spin. Her shoulders hinge up about that far. She's got that butterfly joint there, which is good because she only has single jointed elbows and they don't even go up 90 degrees. And she doesn't have a bicep cut. I will say that the arms for the female figures and the feet for the female figures, Baronesses aren't that bad, but some of the other ones are pretty terrible. They were very bad, the arms for the female figures, for the first several female figures they released. It wasn't until they got to Zorana, really, that they made decent arms for the female figures. So it's hard to get her in decent positions for firing and stuff like that. Let's see, she's got an up-down hinge on her right arm. So hey, Baroness is right-handed. And on the left, she also has a up-down. Okay, so maybe she's ambidextrous. Female figures generally have diaphragm cuts rather than ab crunches. And that's no different for Baroness here. So she can go that far forward, that far back. Don't get a lot of tilt. Got the drop down hips as per usual. She can't split out as far as some of the male figures can, which is strange. Probably because the peg is so small. She can kick up that far, kick back that far. She's got a thigh cut, single jointed pinned knees. I forgot to mention her elbows are pinless. They're still single jointed, but they are pinless. So her knees are double jointed. I'm sorry, I think I said single jointed. Knees are double jointed, but pinned. There's no boot cut because the boot is really high. It's a thigh-high boot, so putting a cut in the boot would have broken up the sculpt. Her feet can go back that far forward. Got rocker, pins on the bottom, or pegs on the bottom, peg holes. Now, my Baroness has kind of loose ankles, so she don't want to stand easily on her own. She's got to go in the stand to make it easier. Alright, for accessory, Baroness comes with this alternate head, which is basically just a motorcycle helmet, essentially. This doesn't go on over her head. You just pop her current head off and then stick this on. It would have been nice if there was a helmet that went over her head. But it is what it is. It is kind of strange, though, because she has very long hair, and yet when her motorcycle helmet's on, there's no hair coming out the back. So it's like, where does all that hair go? There's no way there's enough space on that helmet for her face and all that hair. So that was unfortunate. They could have done that a little bit better, probably. She also comes with this snake, this mechanical snake gun type thing. It's pretty cool. It's all in a silver paint with some gold around the edges there. And then the eyes have like a red dot in the middle there. And you can see in the mouth the barrel of the gun's pointing out. And she can hold this like coiling around her arm until it gets to her hand. It looks cool, but it's not very practical in my opinion. I usually just stick it back in the box with everything else. She also comes with this dagger. This cool ceremonial looking dagger. It's similar to the one that Cobra Commander comes with, in that it's got the Cobra head on the top of it there. Nice gold paint, black handle. The blade was actually all black. I painted it silver. You've watched my videos, you're probably used to me saying this by now. So it's kind of frustrating that they went out of their way to paint the Cobra head on the top gold, but they just ignored the blade. But I took care of it myself. And this goes in the holster at her thigh. Right there. Lastly, she comes with a pair of pistols, both colored gold. Normally, I don't like guns that are colored any color than black, or maybe even like a type of gunmetal gray or something, but I don't mind these so much. I do kind of wish the handles were black, because why would the handles need to be gold? I might paint these a different color in the future. Haven't decided yet. It does match Destro's gun, though. It doesn't look the same, but it's the same color. So that may be why they're gold as well. Because if you don't know, Destro and Baroness are lovers in both the comics and in the cartoon. Obviously, in the movie, they decided to make Baroness Duke's long-lost lover for some reason. But then Paramount doesn't know what the hell they're doing with the franchise, because their producer, Lorenzo de Bonaventura, is an idiot. And those both plug into the back there. Now, this accessory doesn't come with her, but I'm going to display it anyway, because this is what I have her on my shelf holding. It's just this little MP. Is that an MP5 type gun? I can't remember the names of all these guns. This came from the, I think this is one of the Valaverse weapons, but it doesn't have a removable clip. Yeah, this one doesn't come off. But I think this did come in the Valaverse, one of the weapons packs from Vala. So I have her holding this, because I think this is the perfect type of gun for Baroness. This is the type of gun I would see her using. It looks good on her. So that is Baroness and the COIL. And as I said before, there was a retro version that was released for Walmart. I do have it, but I didn't take it out of the package. I like collecting those just to keep on card for the most part. Just because the card art looks really good. And it's got a nostalgia. It's similar to the packaging from the 80s. So there's a nostalgia element in there. If I hadn't gotten this figure, I probably would have gotten 2 of those retros, so I could have opened one of them. Some of the retros I did take out, like Gung Ho and the Crimson Guard, but I did keep at least one in the package for all the retro lines so far. And I'll probably continue that with the non-Walmart retros that they're going to start releasing, like Duke and Scarlet and Beachhead and No Serpent that they've all announced already. So there you have it. Baroness and the COIL cycle. Once again, we don't know what COIL stands for, even though it's an acronym. So stay tuned next week. We'll have another Blast from the Past on this new night on Sunday. I'm moving it from Friday because I prefer Sunday to do these videos. And I'm probably not going to be doing as many sports card openings anymore. I'll try to get as many as I can done, but don't expect them every week, basically. So I don't want those to be on Sunday anymore. I'll probably have those on Friday, where Blast from the Past used to be. So leave me a like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you next time.